Liverpool Primary Care Trust approached Ariel Trust and asked us to come up with a new resource that dealt with young people in alcohol abuse. They had a problem. They'd spent a lot of money on commissioning educational resources that teachers just weren't using, and they wanted something that fitted into the curriculum, that engaged teachers in new ways. So after doing some initial consultation, we came up with the idea of mapping an alcohol resource against the maths curriculum. In order to take this forward, what we did is we decided to run a pilot project in partnership with St John Bosco.
Initially, I thought, oh, this won't work. There's no way you can connect it. And then Ariel Trust came in and we started speaking about how we could include it within the maths curriculum. So we started looking at the statistics with alcohol and our data handling module that was coming up, and we tied it in nicely.
The idea of studying alcohol or alcohol abuse within a maths lesson is quite an original one. But I think we're starting from a point where there's loads of statistical evidence around young people and alcohol. There's, what age do young people start drinking, how many drinks do they have per week, at what age do they first end up being sick. So what we've done is come up with the idea that we'll develop an alcohol education resource that asks young people to collect their own data and analyse it within the context of a maths lesson.
I think the good point about doing the alcohol in maths is that you can do graphs about the amount of alcohol that's being bought in shops and like the way it's decreased and everything. That's what we've been doing when people have been coming in.
Like we did scatter graphs, bar charts, and yeah, that was it. And then we did them like what percentage of adults drank alcohol in the last week and stuff like that.
Already within the GCSE maths curriculum, young people have to do these things, and they usually do it with fairly dry data sets. All we're doing is asking young people to do the same mathematical analysis on data that actually means something to young people.
Maths is becoming more real-life examples, so using the statistics that we were given, it has worked. Although statistics was hard in some parts to match up with the levels that some of the pupils were at, it does definitely work, and it's good for the pupils to be able to relate to it more so than any normal example you'd be using maybe in maths.
It draws your attention to it more because now we know what's behind the alcohol. We've learned like what it can get you into, what the consequences are, and where you'd be most likely to drink and stuff.
We're also finding that young people really like this approach to maths. It's not just a dry statistical analysis, it's a meaningful analysis of something that's happening in their lives, and it motivates them to take maths a little more seriously.
It makes the maths lessons more fun and most people just want to take part.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and because we've covered all the aspects of it, not just the emotional side of alcohol.
It's been much easier doing it with alcohol. I think that's what they should do all the time.
Pupils are learning in a new and different way, and they don't realise that they're learning when they're doing this project. Having a resource available to use straight off is fantastic. Initially, when we started the project, we had to make our own resources. If someone had handed me a resource and said, there you go, I would have been much more willing to just jump straight in and do the project. I think if we could get a few teachers involved and talk about it together, and maybe come up with ways of changing the data a little bit to better suit the project, would be a great help.
Although we've run the pilot project in St John Bosco, we're very keen to engage more teachers in this process. We're looking to hear from any teachers who want to try out these resources that have been developed in St John Bosco. We'll share with them the data that has been collected. We'll share with them the teaching resources, the lesson plans, the worksheets, and the creative stuff as well, the films that have been produced as part of this project, at no cost, as long as what they're prepared to do is try it out in their maths lesson and share with us their experience, because what we want to do is engage teachers in the design and development of this resource. By getting teachers and young people involved at an early stage, we hope to come up with an alcohol education resource that will work in any school in the country. So if you're a teacher, get involved.